Trump sends 4,000 Marines, destroyers, and a submarine to choke Latin America's cartels, while branding Maduro a narco-terrorist with a $50 million bounty. Mexico denies US claims of joint action, even as severed heads turn up on peaceful roads. Is this a war on drugs or the spark of a regional conflict? The United States has launched its most significant military deployment to combat drug cartels in Latin America, with over 4,000 Marines and sailors now heading toward Venezuelan waters and the Caribbean. According to CNN, at least 3 Aegis-guided missile destroyers, including the USS Gravely and USS Jason Dunham, are part of this unprecedented operation that marks a dramatic escalation in President Trump's war on fentanyl trafficking. The deployment involves the Iwo Jima Amphibious Ready Group and the 22nd Marine Expeditionary Unit, backed by a nuclear-powered attack submarine, additional P-8 Poseidon reconnaissance aircraft, and several destroyers. A US defense official told CNN,
"These additional assets are aimed at addressing threats to US national security from specially designated narco-terrorist organizations in the region."
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt emphasized the administration's commitment during a press briefing.
What I will say with respect to Venezuela, President Trump has been very clear and consistent. He's prepared to use every element of American power to stop drugs from flooding into our country and to bring those responsible to justice.
The administration has specifically targeted Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro, with Leavitt declaring that the Maduro regime is not legitimate.
The Maduro regime is not the legitimate government of Venezuela. It is a narco-terror cartel. In Maduro, it is the view of this administration, is not a legitimate president. He is a fugitive head of this cartel who has been indicted in the United States for trafficking drugs into the country.
Attorney General Pam Bondi announced a historic $50 million reward for information leading to Maduro's arrest, more than triple the previous $15 million offer. Maduro responded defiantly in a televised address Monday, vowing that Venezuela would defend their seas, skies, and lands, while dismissing US pressure as the outlandish, bizarre threat of a declining empire. The military buildup extends beyond naval operations. On August 15th, US surveillance capabilities demonstrated their reach when a Customs and Border Protection MQ-9B Sky Guardian drone conducted a nearly 2-hour surveillance mission deep inside Mexican territory, reaching Valle de Bravo in the state of Mexico. The operation targeted areas linked to La Nueva Familia Michoacana, a cartel recently designated by Washington as a foreign terrorist organization. Meanwhile, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum delivered a sharp rebuke to US claims of bilateral cooperation, flatly denying the Drug Enforcement Administration's announcement of a joint initiative called Project Portero, aimed at targeting cartel gatekeepers along the US-Mexico border.
I want to make a clarification. Yesterday, the DEA issued a statement saying that there is an agreement with the government of Mexico for an operation they call Doorman. There is no agreement with the DEA. The DEA issues the statement. We do not know on what basis. We have not reached any agreement. None of the security institutions has done so with the DEA.
The DEA had announced Monday what it called a bold bilateral initiative targeting operatives who control the smuggling corridors along the southwest border. The program was described as bringing together Mexican investigators with US law enforcement, prosecutors, defense officials, and members of the intelligence community. Sheinbaum clarified that while a small group of Mexican police officers were participating in a training workshop in Texas, this did not constitute the comprehensive agreement described by the DEA.
We do not validate anything issued by a United States government institution that has not been consulted with the government of Mexico. In terms of security, the only thing in place with the United States government is an agreement that has been in the works for several months. It is an agreement that is practically ready or already ready with the United States Department of State and the government of Mexico. The Secretariat of Foreign Affairs has been coordinating these efforts, and this agreement is about to be signed. It is fundamentally based on sovereignty, mutual trust, territorial respect. That is, each party operates within its own territory and coordination without subordination.
Despite the DEA's announcement, Sheinbaum made clear her government's position on sovereignty.
There has been collaboration with the United States government for a long time, not only since President López Obrador, and even before, the way that collaboration took place has changed. Previously, it was very interventionist, particularly during Calderon's period, when the DEA even operated directly in Mexico with the security forces of our country.
Security analyst Scott Stewart from Torchstone Global told Border Report that
there is a long history of Mexico coordinating with the U.S. and attempting to keep it on the down low due to domestic political sensitivities over sovereignty.
when asked about taking down Cartel Plaza bosses, Stewart explained the challenge.
It's all economics. If one plaza boss is taken out, he is quickly replaced either internally from someone within his cartel group or by a rival cartel.
The escalating tensions between the US and Mexican governments over anti-cartel operations come as Mexico faces renewed cartel brutality. 6 severed heads were discovered on August 19th on a road linking the typically peaceful states of Puebla and Tlaxcala, according to BBC reports. Local authorities found the remains on a route not normally associated with cartel violence. According to AFP, the local prosecutor's office confirmed the heads belonged to men and launched an investigation into the killings. Local media reported that a blanket was left at the scene with a message warning rival gangs, apparently signed by a group called La Barredora, meaning the sweeper. The discovery is particularly significant because Puebla and Tlaxcala are not typically prone to the extreme cartel violence seen in other parts of Mexico. The region faces issues with fuel smuggling, known as huachicoleo, which generates billions of dollars annually for criminal organizations. These killings occur amid Sheinbaum's major crackdown on fentanyl trafficking and represent the ongoing challenge Mexico faces in combating organized crime. Violence between cartels has surged dramatically since the government first deployed military forces against gangs in 2006, resulting in hundreds of thousands of deaths and tens of thousands of missing persons. The gruesome discovery underscores the complex security situation Mexico navigates while attempting to maintain sovereignty in its cooperation with US anti-cartel efforts, even as criminal organizations continue to operate with brutal impunity across the country.